So last lesson, we got so close to completing our checkout flow, but we noticed that the plan didn't update. The reason for this is we need to implement Stripe webhooks for key events that will let Stripe send messages to our app to confirm things like new customers have been added, new trial created, and this is also what we're going to use for things like subscriptions updating. So if someone signs up on the 17th of August, how are you going to know on the 17th of September that you need to refresh the user's limits? Well, fortunately, Stripe can send a message to you and ping your app on that date at the exact time when this user subscription is updated, sending a message saying, hey, time to update your user's subscription. So in this lesson, we'll be talking about Stripe webhooks, and I will show you how to set that up. Head to our Stripe dashboard. What we're going to do is head to developers, and we're going to select this webhooks option. I'm going to select add destination, and then we need to select some events that we want to listen for in our app. So these are events that Stripe can trigger. These are messages that Stripe can send to our app. And so we just need to select a few that we want to keep an eye on in our app. So let's go down to the customer events. And to make it simple, let's just select all of the customer events. Checkout, we can do the same. And that should be all that we need for our little app. So I'm going to hit continue. We're going to select Webhook Endpoint. I'm going to put my app name. And here we're going to need to put our app's URL. While we're testing, this is going to be our Replit development URL. And then we're going to put API Webhook. And that's all we need. We're going to hit create destination. And now we have a webhook that is set up to send messages for all of those events to our desired endpoint. That endpoint is going to be something in our app that is listening for those events. So our app can now listen because Stripe knows where to send those messages. Once it hears the message, it's going to take an action in our app. For example, it's going to update the user's plan after they successfully complete checkout. And we will ask Agent to help us set up Stripe webhooks for our app. Now, it's possible that Agent has already built the webhook handler for your app, but it's not going to have worked until we added this webhook in Stripe. And it's going to ask us for our Stripe webhook secret. So we need to get that as well from Stripe. So to do so, we're going to go down to this signing secret, which starts with WHSEC. Going to copy that value and then paste it into this secret here. Continue. And that is going to, once implemented, complete our checkout flow. Okay, so let's test our checkout flow again. Let's try it on a different plan and a different user. Takes us to the Pro plan. All right, let's pay. So what we should expect to see is exactly this. The user's plan has been updated to Pro. The limit is now set to 100, and we have this Stripe customer and subscription ID added to this user. That means that our webhook has been received correctly by our app. Our app has then processed it with the webhook handler and found the user, gone into the database and updated those details accordingly. For the user, this means that now they are logged in and they have their account updated to be able to generate 100 thumbnails, in this case, every month. Webhooks can be a little bit tricky to implement. I had to go back and forth with the agent a little bit to make sure that the webhook message was being received and parsed correctly. So I'm going to try and add a couple of troubleshooting prompts for if you're getting stuck with webhooks, as well as improving the prompt for the initial webhook setup. So hopefully you don't run into too many of these issues, but if you do, just send me a message and I'm happy to help. We now have a checkout flow that lets the user select a plan, remembers which plan they clicked, signs them up with Google, takes them to checkout, and then after they complete checkout, we listen for that confirmation, and then we update the user's plan and take them to their dashboard. And that pretty much sums up the sign up flow. But if you have been clicking around and testing out the app yourself while building, you may have noticed that the user can just directly navigate to this dashboard even if they're not logged in. Now, that may not be the case for your app. For your app, maybe they go to checkout, they click back, and they're taken to the dashboard. And even if they haven't paid, they have access to all the features in your app. So in the next lesson, we're going to be talking about adding a hard paywall that covers your entire app and doesn't let the user take any actions until they go ahead and upgrade to a paid plan in your app.